And so it was. Beyond time and space, that there was this thing called spirit. It was oneness. It was complete unto itself. Spirit knew nothing other than itself. It existed. It was. When the original, the eternal one, said, "Who am I?" it instantly created a mirror of itself so that it could see who it was, so that it could answer its own question. And in that mirror, the oneness gazed into its own heart and instantly fell in love. And through this miraculous process of loving each other and ultimately loving themselves, they created the children of God. So here you are in the kingdom of I Am, the love of Mother, Father, Spirit. And they invite you now to go out, to experience and to learn about creation. We call this the first circle. And so it was that a new day came. You were so excited about going off and visiting yet a new part of the first circle, of all that was. Suddenly your wanderings took you to a halt. It would be much like if you were wandering through a forest, a beautiful forest, on a beautiful sunny day, and you suddenly came to the end of land where there was a beach. And beyond the beach, it appeared to be an eternal ocean. And that's what it felt like to you right now in the kingdom. Suddenly, a little boat appeared out of nowhere. Just came drifting over towards you, beckoning you. It was a beautiful day. The ocean was calm, hardly a wave, just enough gentle rocking motion. And the desire in your soul caused the boat to go a little bit further and a little bit further from land. You sat up from within the boat, looked out, and were surprised to see that up ahead there were dark clouds, and you were heading for them. You took a deep breath and said, "I desire to go back home. I desire now to be back with the king and the queen, for this day has been very long." But the boat did not turn around. You took another deep breath, and this time you called out to Spirit, as you've never done before, and said, "Dear Spirit, hear me now, Mother, Father, God, for I am in a place where I don't want to be." And you sat down on the bottom of the boat for a moment to wait to be pulled back home. And nothing happened. When you crawled up from the bottom of the boat and you looked back to where you had come from, back to land, and there was nothing, and it too had gone dark. And you looked ahead of you to where the boat was heading, and this wall of fire was rising from the ocean, surrounded by the storm clouds, and you knew that nothing within you now could turn you around. It was only the love of Spirit that could save you. You knew that this was your final moment. And as you were about ready to collide into this wall of fire, into this nothingness, into this terror, into this darkness and rage, you screamed out one final time, "Now, Spirit, now!" And above all the noise and the commotion, above even the fear that you had within you, you did indeed hear a voice from home that said to you, "You will never be alone. And then you are drawn into the wall of fire with such a force, such a ferocity, that when you entered it, it tore you apart. And there seemed no hope, there seemed no way to get out. And every time you tried to regain your balance and tried to call to yourself or call to home, you were torn apart again and again, over and over. And this whole time, you felt like you were trying to scream out, but nothing, no sound, no feeling, nothing came out. And the shattering continued for what seemed forever. There wasn't another ounce of strength. There wasn't another feeling of desire. There wasn't any more recollection of yourself or anything you'd ever been. And you allowed yourself to fall now into the darkness, into the nothingness. Any part of an identity of yourself was gone. If you look deep into your soul self right now, in this moment, you come to realize that this was perhaps the most difficult time, the most difficult moment that you have ever experienced. There is still this memory of going out of existence, but it's an unfounded fear. You'll never go back into nothingness, because even now, as you're in this total void, absolutely alone, something occurred. The shadow was there, and it caused you to feel something within you, and just the feeling itself renewed you, made you realize maybe you weren't out of existence. You suddenly realized, I am. You took a deep breath, deep within your soul. You said to yourself, I am that I am. I am aware of myself. And then you said the words that launched you on the journey. Who am I? And so it was. Dear friends, so it is that there is nothing more beautiful and sometimes more challenging than to be in physical form. There's no better place in all of creation, including the original kingdom, where you can learn to love yourself, where you can allow yourself to love yourself, like you can right here on earth. But what just if this last chapter in your journey on earth was a chapter when you said, I'm going to fall in love with myself, I'm going to be here at the beginning of the era of new energy, I'm going to be a pioneer once again, learning how to work with new energy when most humans haven't a clue what it is. Learning how to go beyond vibrational into expansional while here in the physical body, experiencing it in the most intimate way. And that's what life as a human is about, becoming intimate with yourself. That's why the order of the ark and all the wisdom of all the angels created earth, for the intimacy with yourself.